No, no, I think that you said they've been here thousands of years. I think it's probably more like millions.
Millions.
My understanding is probably 3 million years but that beings have been on this planet. I understand that there are probably more. I saw a pie chart not too long ago. There are probably more aliens and alien hybrids than actual pure humans. The
Right.
pure human race, from my understanding, is more like the Aboriginal race
Right.
in Australia, and the rest of us are, especially of lighter color, are of a more hybrid race. So yeah, they've been here a long time. Now some of them are good, some of them are not so nice. I've had a friend that I told you about recently that sees a lot of things, and she never really, and she's met a lot of different aliens,
Right.
but she never really called anybody evil, as opposed to evil and good. She just, I can't remember the word, we were talking about it earlier, I can't remember the word she used. But it wasn't evil. They were just, but you could tell they didn't have your best interest at heart. Some of them tried to use you, and some of them would protect you, some of them wouldn't. So it's definitely,
kinda like the
we're
human
not
race.
alone, we're not alone,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Like the
Yeah, kinda like
human-
human.
yeah.
I guess it's exactly,
Yeah.
everybody's different,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's beings doing good things or beings doing bad things.
Right. Just go ahead and get them all as they talk this turn.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And from just different things that I've seen and read, and just
Yeah.
some of the things that are documented by even by U.S. government, by other countries.
Right.
Like the movie Close Encounter of the Third Kind.
Right. So it's
Now
a true
that-
story. Is that a true story?
80% of that is
80%,
true.
most of it is.
Most of that is a true story. Aliens did come. They said everything except the location
Right.
where they filmed everything, but aliens did come, and we did do an exchange.
Really?
Now this is from the National Defense Minister of Canada. Now he spoke at a seminar here a couple of years back, and he started exposing a lot of this because his thing was, I'm at this age, I have nothing to lose, and people need to know.
Right.
So, that's one thing. And this year, this past year in 2019, matter of fact, a lot of UFO sightings have been making it on regular national news.
Yeah.
I mean, the U.S. Navy, 2 U.S. Navy pilots flew out from San Diego one day, and they were supposed to have been doing kind of like war games or whatever.
Right.
They went out, they didn't have any weapons on their planes, but they went out and they spotted a ship. They said it was hovering over the water.
Got video of it.
Yeah, and they got video of it. And matter of fact, the U.S. government allowed the Navy to release it. You can kind of see it on the radar. There's something on top of the water. It looks like it was just taken in water. They said like it was just spinning. And his wingman, the guy that was flying the other jet, he said, "Do you see what I see?" And he said, "Yep." And they just observed, took pictures. He said, "Well, we can't engage because we don't have any weapons." So they went back. So you have stuff like that happening, and these UFO sightings, and
More and more disclosure.
right, more and more disclosure is happening, and some of these movies that are being shown in Hollywood have maybe sometime anywhere from 25 to almost 80% validity there.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, so
Right.
that's what happens, and from an alien standpoint, I can sense sometimes the difference in people, and I feel like I've run across some several times.
Yeah.
You pick up on it, that vibe, and how you talked about how many years,
Yeah.
just something that I've recognized, just how we say time just snuck it past so quick,
Right.
this and that, and this universe is so vast. It's so vast, and we don't understand. Every time scientists think they found the end of the universe, they say, "Oh, there's more," So they recognize that, God created, it's infinite. But
We're not the only race.
We're not the only race. So what they're finding out, they find other planets that are, that can be inhabited by, people like us.
1600,
and also the
16,000.
whole time thing. At some time, I believe the universe will speed up, and we can't recognize it, but we can feel it in our bodies where it feels like time passed fast, and it does pass fast. The reason our clocks don't run any faster because we use an atomic clock, and it's geared off, the vibration of this earth. So, whether it's 1,000 years or a million years,
Yeah.
we may be spinning through this universe, at a speed where, and it's called time dilation, where you can travel out so many miles in space at a certain speed, leave this earth, and when you come back, your child that was 5 may be 30, and you come back and you may be 35.
Wow.
So as aliens come here and take people away, sometimes they bring them back, and you might not even recognize them because they've gone millions and millions of miles into the universe, and it took 30 years for them to maybe to come back. Because time passed faster here on Earth
than it does out there
in space.
Wow.
So I believe that definitely, we're not the only race of people here, and these sightings, at least 50 to probably 60% of them are valid.
You think Star Trek is real?
I think Star Trek is real.
Star Wars is
well, Star Wars. Notice what happened this
Absolutely.
past year. What did he do? He formalized what he called the Space Force.
Yeah.
No, I tell people the key word there is formalized. So that means it already existed. He just formally,
Yeah, since the 80s.
just because you remember when Reagan created what he called the Star Wars program.
Right.
Back then, they said it was about, shooting down ballistic missiles and everything.
Right.
But it was more than that.
Right.
Because, like I say, my background is aerospace engineering, so there's some things that I know that it's capable of, that things have happened. So that whole thing about Space Force, why do we need a Space Force?
Had a Space Force.
Say Chewbacca real, huh?
So you have to ask yourself, why don't we have an Army, we have a Navy, we have an Air Force, and now we got a Space Force. And all those entities they protect, and also they go out and and do things. So now we have a Space Force that can do the same thing.
So in other words, aliens can time travel.
Yeah, aliens time travel.
Time travel.
Yeah, with some of the
They phase
vehicles.
in and out.
Right.
And take different form, different
Right,
places
take
they
different
go.
forms. Or they, like they're finding out that black holes are not really what they thought they were. Black holes may be a portal where you
Right.
can just, once you get into a black hole, it may take you to another dimension. So,
The sun is a portal.
yeah.
But they're also saying the sun is a portal, but on the other side of the sun is the opposite of a black hole. But
So do you believe that every day on Earth is the same day? That Earth rotates around the sun. Some folks say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But I think it's all the same day.
It is. We created linear time.
Right.
Humans, I guess, just to have an understanding of what time is. But time doesn't really exist. We just create it.
Yeah, we
Once you
created-
leave this planet,
Yeah.
time really doesn't exist. Once you're in space, time does not exist, really. See, the scale, it's kind of like having a ruler and you measure something, and then you go somewhere else and they're using a different form of measurement.
Right.
So on Earth, we use this certain, like you said, linear form of measurement, and then once you get in space, it's not, you can't use that same ruler. They've been finding out a lot of the physics that I took as an engineer.
It's not correct.
It's not valid.
Yeah.
Some of those equations aren't valid now. 'Cause-
The wrong math. It shouldn't be base 10. It should be base 3.
right.
The Freemasons do it. That's why they created the.
Right.
What did Tesla say? If you knew the wonders of 3, if you knew the importance of 3, 6, and 9, you know the wonders of the universe. That's a base 3.
Wow.
Tesla was visited too. Just like my friend. She told me the other day. She texted me. She said, they gave me. She goes, I'm 30 years old. I don't know anything about physics. And she said, I woke up one morning and they had taught me theory of relativity. She said I had to look it up. I never knew what it was. She said one time they showed me what mass really is. She said she could see atoms and how they were spaced and how they vibrated. And she said I looked at this chair and I saw this blue energy that was holding this together.
Right.
Which my understanding was consciousness. See, nobody ever talks about consciousness and how we're all connected, including connected to every other being that's ever been created in this universe.
And it's kind of like if you think it up, it'll show up. Think it up, it'll show up.
Yeah. Well, I always think this whole universe is a holographic construct.
It's an app.
We kind of. It is
It's
an
an
app.
app. It's
And if we decided that a tree didn't look like it does, and we decided it looked something different, it'd be different.
Well, in my experience in, the supernatural, I have seen so many different things that some of you can't talk about because they're gonna look at you like you're crazy
Right,
and weird.
They do.
blah blah blah. But I know for a fact God is in on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God is in on it,
Right.
and I can tell you this: you can be trapped in thinking that there is one God, but there could be many. There could be many, but they all control different parts of the universe.
Interesting you say that. That's what I understand. Well,
Yeah.
he created
Yeah.
different levels of,
Yeah.
people that create
Yeah.
universes, people that create
Yeah.
planets, solar systems. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dimensional awareness
So-
of
right.
entities.
From my spiritual growth, okay, it's blasphemy to say Jesus ain't the only God. It's blasphemy to people.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, I mean, Satan, because I cast out devils, told me that he's only allowed to roam the earth. He said he's tried to go to other universes and planets, but God won't let him. So apparently, if there's another evil somewhere else, I don't know. But I know he's been released here.
Here, right, on this planet.
In other dimensions, he don't exist.
Right.
So you get abducted talking about you the devil, they gonna say, that must be the earth round people. You know, because they believe in the devil.
Right.
But he's the least of the problem. But it's designed in this realm for Satan to do what he does. But aliens also have been thought of as the demons and the devil, but it's
Ancient text, yeah. Now, interesting you say more than one, because the word Elohim is plural.
right.
You know, it could be gods with a little g, but Elohim is plural. Nobody
Right.
really thinks of that. Gods? Who was talking about gods back in the Egyptian days? Why did they have big hats to
You know-
cover elongated skulls?
They're aliens.
Yes,
Yeah.
they absolutely were aliens.
I met a spirit through a body of a woman a couple weeks ago, and I asked him, "Who are you?" He's in the body, and he said his name was Osiris. Osiris. He said,
Yeah.
I'm a Greek god.
Uh-huh.
You're a Greek god. I said, how old are you? He said, I'm 434 years old. I'm a Greek god. I said, well, what are you doing in there? He said, because I like her. I mean, he went on and on and on, and etc. But he knew more than what I was asking. He wasn't going to tell. He wasn't going to tell me, and he told me, you can't make me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Well, we got rid of him, but where he went, I don't know. He was very sincere. He was very calm. He was not scared of me. He was very calm, living inside her body. He said he had been there a few days and etc. He saw her. She was somewhere. He saw her. So there's lots of things going on that we cannot explain. But you know how it is. If it's not explainable, then it's not real.
Right.
Then you know you're crazy.
That's the three
Yeah.
mentality, yeah.
Yeah.
100 years seems awful young. To be Osiris.
Yeah. 400 years
Horus
seems
and
awfully young.
Osiris, so you're talking about Sumerian text. It goes way back more than 400
That
years.
was 3,000 years ago.
Well, maybe he's the son of a god.
Osiris Jr.
Yeah.
If you go back in history, at least to World War II, one of the first times that alien beings or alien ships were noticed, where General MacArthur was noticing that there was balls
Or
were
chasing their planes.
chasing the planes or observing military operations. And once the war was over, or while that was going on, Germany and the Nazis were building
The bell.
these
the
flying
craft,
ships,
Right.
Yeah, the flying craft, yeah.
and that continued on to where you had Operation Paperclip when all the Nazi scientists came into the United
They
States,
created NASA.
created NASA,
Really?
created CIA to keep everybody quiet, and agreements were made with the aliens at the time, which were the Greys, and which are an extension of the Dracos, the reptilians.
They're cloned, yeah.
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 And the agreement was that they could abduct and experiment on humans to a point.
Right.
And once they discovered that they could do that, they decided to take over and do whatever they wanted to do.
Looks like they're still doing it.
They're still doing it.
Yeah.
They're like, they said with 22 different genetic experiments going on this planet for the last 13,000 years.
And so since the 1950s, Eisenhower's talked about beware of the industrial complex, military industrial complex, which is the military side, working with the aliens and all the secret underground bases And it has taken until now, and we talked about the Space Force, which is now beginning to come out with all the advanced military ships that we can start fighting against those alien beings.
So let me ask you a question, all of you. About a year ago, I was in my office working, and I looked at my video cameras around, and I saw a alien spaceship outside of my office.
Sure.
But when I went outside, I couldn't see it.
Right.
But when I came back in, I could see it in the camera. It let down a door, and I don't know what it was. Like somebody came out in it's like a suit, and it walked through the walls of my place. It came in and it stood in the corner. I could see it, and I said, "I see you." So he backed up in the, in the wall. He backed, and I heard him say, "He can see me." And yeah, and so he came out, walked out, and he was looking around.
Right.
So I run back outside, and I still can't see it. But then they put something on the pole. Something was down in the electricity. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They must have needed some power. See, the interesting thing is, you say you could see it. See, most of the beings, non-human beings, they vibrate at a different frequency. Our sight, out of the total frequency from infrared to ultraviolet, is a huge spectrum, but we only see this much. If somebody vibrated just outside that your realm of vision, you couldn't see it. But you see different things anyhow in different realms. You could see them. That's why they're probably excited, like, wait a sec, he can see me. But yeah, you can see different vibrations.
Yeah, but see, I have seen that before.
Sure.
One morning, I was taking my grandson to the bus stop, and I saw the same suit down off watching the kids get on the bus. I don't know if he saw me, but I saw him, and he stayed there. And I mean, what can I do? I'm not gonna run down and hey, but I saw it again twice. They're walking around in this suit that they can walk through walls and be all in your house. Some of these people think they're experiencing a spirit, but they're not. Like you said, they're vibrating. They know something's there. They're watching us.
Yeah, they are.
They're taking
watching
notes.
you for sure. They probably know who you are.
Good luck.
They're fascinating. Why do they want to do genetic experiments? There's something about the human race that they need.
They don't understand the consciousness that we have.
Yeah.
God gave us something.
They did.
Yeah, they can create and remanufacture bodies. They can clone bodies, and they can adapt.
Yeah.
But the one thing they can't do is the essence of what we
The
have.
soul. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen so much in doing all this through the years, and where I have ran into alien. I have video where they told me that two people will be making love, and they will come and freeze them, take them, insert their, bring them back. She's pregnant, and the child comes out. It's an alien, but it looks like the mom and dad, but it's really an alien.
Sure.
Yeah, it's really an alien, and so I was able to put it in a trance. She was an alien, so I put it in a trance, and it told me everything. Well, I'm not gonna say everything, but it told me. I asked, "What do you want?" And it said, "The planet." Every time I deal with one, it says, "We want the planet."
Because it was their planet
It
originally.
was. But God took it away.
He took it away.
Most of them left.
Spank.
Yeah. They had it for a long time.
Long time.
Ever since Atlantis. And God's in '96, from my understanding, most of them left.
They were smarter than the human race.
Oh yeah.
They lived longer.
Yeah, they do.
Okay, they live longer. But when she said that, she wasn't the only one. And then there was another alien said that he was from the days of Pharaoh.
Uh-huh.
And he had a ship that he had to get back to travel through time to get back where he came from. But he needed that body.
Yeah.
He needed that body. So he's been trying to get that girl to fly somewhere in Egypt. But I stopped it. So because it wanted to get on, it said somewhere in a pyramid was a ship.
Right.
where it needed to get to go back. And that's kind
That
of
makes sense because that's
Yeah.
a lot of what some of the wars are over in the Middle
Yeah.
East is control of the space portals.
it was
Portals. Yeah, there
well,
are portals. There
it
are
was-
portals in
yeah.
Iraq and Iran. There's some portals over there
You have
in the Middle East.
portals down in Peru,
Yeah.
where the Inca tribes were. You know, they look at like how did these, you know, these supposedly indigenous
Right.
people create these big pyramids? Well, they had help. I mean, you know, it was
Why do the Mayans have carvings of people in spacesuits
right,
in
Right.
Mexico?
right.
Why?
right. They
Well,
They're
said-
supposed to be a barbaric tribe, and all of a sudden they have. I think they had a space program actually.
What about Pharaoh on cartoons flying around on a flying rug?
Yeah.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
They
oh,
had
yeah.
great technology.
Right.
Everybody trying to figure out how was the pyramids built.
Right.
Aliens.
Right.
Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
no way.
There's no way.
There's
I
no
think
way.
when they were told to leave, they decided to destroy a lot of their technology,
Mm-hmm.
so that way, man here wouldn't, you know, couldn't replicate some of it. But the things that we have captured, we would be able to reverse engineer it
Yeah.
and things like that. So, you know, I just think that they recognize that, hey, if we would have left this, then, you know, they would be where we are. But like you were saying, that whole, we have a conscious and we have a subconscious in our spirit. And always remember it, God said, with me, nothing's impossible.
Right.
So, like you said, you know, you've talked to, you know, their spirit and they, like you said, they want the planet, but what did God say? No.
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 I think my opinion that some of the apostles were aliens. Some of the apostles.
Sure.
They were aliens. They were not human. Especially over in Egypt, it's just so many of them were left out. They believe if it ain't in the Bible, it's not true. That's what they believe.
It's in Ezekiel.
You know,
He talked about ships, silver ships.
they don't read Ezekiel.
It's in the Sumerian
Yeah.
text. It's
But
in.
if you read the book of Enoch, that's
Yeah,
one of the books
Enoch,
that left out,
yeah.
you know, it talks
The book
about
that was left out.
about watchers.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it talks
giants.
about watchers and, you know, giants that were here, and these watchers, you know, were some of the fallen angels, and they would sit here and they made it with, you know, the women and everything. So, you know, the whole book of Enoch talks about a lot of different things like that, but it was why was that book taken out? You know?
Church didn't want you to
You know, and then there's the book of Thomas, same thing, taken out. The book of Thomas really goes in depth of who Christ is. It talks about that relationship.
I think the Bible is more of man control.
It is.
You know, man control. I do believe that.
But it's the church that created the church, the Rome, the Church of Rome. They created this. Constantine. Let's just put all this stuff in here and give it to these people. This is it. That's all you got.
Yeah.
Well, it's to keep
was
all
way more
the
than
people of all the slaves that they brought together had different religions or had
Right.
different beliefs. So they had to come up with a religion that they could all believe in.
And they did it.
They did. They mixed a lot of stories.
They did it. You know, have you ever felt like an alien? I'm not an alien, but like you're an outcast. You're a misfit.
All the time.
You know.
All the time.
You know. I raise my hand.
Yeah.
It's like me, I've been told all my life, you're different.
You know.
I don't know why they say it, but yeah, you're different.
I don't recognize you anymore.
Well, you know, a lot of them been told you die, you go to heaven or hell. That's somewhat true and not true.
Right.
You know, somewhat.
You know, the original Aramaic text and the Greek text did not have a word for heaven, but they had a word for cosmos. So when they talked about somebody coming from the heavens, which they changed it over the years,
Yeah.
it was really the cosmos, the original Aramaic text.
Well, just like in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth
Right.
instead of God created the cosmos.
Cosmos in the earth.
You notice how God created the body. If it's wounded, it heals.
Yes.
Okay? You can heal your own self through your mind. He created that for us. I know I've done it. And I myself, being who I am, I'm in control of my mind. Literally, I am. I've met so many people that I said to myself, wow, they're so weak. They're so weak. They want a handout. They want somebody to help me all the time. All the time. And at the same time, you have the power to cure yourself, man. And I tell people this before we end this. You don't have to pray to God to heal you. He's already done that for you. You don't have to pray to God for money. He's already done that for you. You just got to choose it and he'll choose you.
Yeah.
Aliens, they choose to be here God let them still be here doing some of the things they're doing. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, a pastor talking about aliens, he must be way out there, you know? He way out there. But still, I seen it.
Right. I have too.
You know, I grew up in a household where we didn't have this conversation.
Right.
You know, that's blasphemy. You know, what you talking about? You crazy? You see a shrink? You know? And aliens are raising families, man. And you don't even know it. But the big problem is they got their minds so much caught up in who's gay, who's not gay, who's this and that. It's none of your business. People gonna be people no matter what. So I think that the church need to revamp in regards of getting more educated.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Meaning the Church of Rome, I think it is. I think it's going to be revealed soon what they have in their archives of the Vatican that would blow people's minds. But, like you said, a lot of people, it's going to blow apart every belief system you have if we tell you this is true.
It's true.
And a lot of people don't. They're comfortable with not believing.
Well, they're in a safe zone. You know what I mean? They're in a safe zone. I can understand that in your safe zone. I understand the safe zone. But the zone that I've worked in and working in, I've seen so much. I mean, there are days I wake up and say, wow, all this going on and nobody don't know. And
they're down in the weeds. That's society is engineered to keep you distracted so you don't look at those things.
yeah.
I think a lot of things been going on here lately, like in our political systems, just things in the world. I call them, being a magician.
Right.
It's a sleight of hand. Look here while we're doing this over here.
Right.
And that happens a lot, With all the, the newscasts, they're
Right.
telling you one thing because they don't want you to look over here what's going on. So, and the only way you can know about that, like you said, you have to be in control of your mind. You have to know that, okay, you have that discernment to know that more. Right?
Yeah.
Spiritual discernment to know something else is going on. I had an incident once where I came off the freeway and I turned left and going across the overpass, and there was another ramp coming this way. And when I came, this guy ran the light, and his vehicle went straight through my vehicle.
Oh, wow.
Like that. Matter of fact, the woman in front of me, she pulled over and stopped, and you can see her eyes, she was just scared like that. And when I got next to her, she said, "You all right?" And I said, "Yeah," because the vehicle you could just see her. She's like, "How did he miss you? How did that happen?" So things can happen, and like you said, it's our minds. It's just things that we can do, and just things that we get exposed to.
One that, talking about the times we are in, and this isn't necessarily about aliens, but is, in Revelations it talks about the end times. And you look at where we are in the cycle of the precession of the equinox of the earth,
Right.
25,000 years. Talk about the Mayans, the end is coming in 2012. We are switching from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. The age of Pisces was the age of religion, and now we're moving to Aquarius.
It's a spiritual age.
It's a spiritual age.
Spiritually, yeah.
And so what we're going through is the turmoil of those who have been in control are losing control, and we're about to enter a new era of time for another 2,000 years.
2,200.
Yeah.
That's an era.
A lot of folks done died and come back many times. All right, we're going to end it right there. I want to thank Brother Vince, Pastor Roy, and Dave. Thank y'all for coming on the show here. My name is Bishop Johnson. This is a Supernatural Reality show. This is a podcast. Thank y'all. If you got any questions or you want to contact us, it's at the link below. And tell me what you think about it. Thank you. Until next time.